What sentence do I write first? What's going to be my topic sentence? The prompt asks about theme. What did we just write from the back of the board? The theme statement, right? So we're going to type that, or I am. Do I need to make this even large? Pomegranate. Do I need to make this font larger, or?
I think that would be helpful.
For you guys.
Did you want to write this down?
You are, yes. But LaDeja, what we've learned from Miss Vickers is I often change my mind, so you might want to wait till I type the whole sentence. Because then people get upset because they have to go back and erase. But I am going to use the exact sentence we wrote back there, so if you want to go ahead and write that. Okay. So that is part one of our topic sentence. You want to start it on the desk here? Okay, that's perfect. We have it all together. Okay, so topic sentence, in this case, the prompt asks about the theme, so we're writing that theme statement. I would do that. We're going to write it in the opposite pieces, and that way we have the plan. The others. Are you okay with it? Oh, it's not really years ago. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Is it really? Mm-hmm. Okay. You got mounted in the science book together. Or science, I don't know. We do a lot of charts and graphs in science too. Okay. So then next we have to elaborate. And when we elaborate, I'm going to scroll it up. I'll come right back down, I promise. We add a little more about something from the prompt. So we've already told the theme. We don't need to do that again. We've got to answer this how part. What is it that Jane Taylor uses to establish this theme? Look in your C section. Imagery, okay? And I'll scroll it back up so those of you in the back can see. Taylor uses imagery as she describes the suffering of a family. So we've elaborated, but we haven't jumped into our first specific detail yet. And where did I get imagery from? The connotation. So I'm using the chart. Okay. Now you wrote down several examples of the imagery. Which one do you want to use? We have a lot. Look at your TP cast. Do we want to focus on the positive? No. You're right, Isabella. No. So look at that negative side. What does she focus on first, though? The house. So let's do it in order kind of the stanzas. Does that make sense? So what are some, for example, What does she do? I need a good verb. I don't want to use describes again or illustrates. Maybe elaborates for the second example, how she elaborates on the suffering of the children. What did you say? Mentions. You know what? I'm going to change this. This is for the speaker. What is the speaker physically doing to see? Okay, she's walking. The speaker walks by an old cottage of clay. Period. Quotation mark. Why did I put this in quotation marks? It's in the poem. It's in the poem. I've copied it directly from the poem. So that is my first example. Now, can I list the second detail right after that? No, what do I need to do first? What? Right, I have to explain why this example is important. So why is that important?
It shows that they don't have that much money, no friendship, they can't afford it,
Okay. She notices. What's a rundown is kind of a little bit slang. What's a better word for rundown? I don't know that we're going to choose dilapidated off the top of our heads. We need an in-between word. We don't want rundown. We don't want dilapidated. A downgrade. Yes, I need a word downgrade. How? Okay. How about how the house? Talking about snow drifting in at the door cannot keep out the snow. And is okay. Isabella and Savannah, you both have families in construction. They use the word like decay when a house is kind of starting to fall apart. What's a word they use?
When the foundation is starting to rot or get moldy.
Yeah. What's a word I can use to describe that that's not decay? Can I just say falling apart? Is that okay?
Yeah, you said like crumbling apart. Yeah, I would do crumbling apart. Because of the clay, like clay kind of crumbles.
Oh, I like that. Okay. So that's my commentary to go along with my detail. Don't let me forget, Nick Ruhal, your elaborates word. Okay? There's the transition some of you were talking about. Actually, 1, 2, 3, and 4, the speaker elaborates on how, okay, I need my second detail, how the, do we want to use the children crying for bread? I think that's what you said, Isabella, earlier. We have a nice transition. We have a good strong verb. You all contributed to the transition and the verb. Am I going too fast? We need two more sentences. Two more. Well, we're going to need another sentence that kind of explains the children were crying for bread, and then we're going to write our analysis in it. I already have an idea for that.
As the children are another sound.
Oh, why is the mother sad?
Due to the children crying, their mother is unhappy because children are able to feed the children.
Okay, she can't feed the children. You said another good, like, vocabulary. What was that, Nick?
I said she said she has some stuff and she can't do anything to fix it.
She is
Oh, you
hopeless.
said some other verb that was really
The
strong.
mother is hopeless, trying, the mother is hopeless, not being able to feed her, crying, and really
What's another word besides sad?
Despair.
distraught.
What did you say, Zeb?
I said despair.
Despair. Full, I like that. Full of despair. Oh, I like this better. The mother in the poem is full of despair as she realizes she has no food for them to eat. I'm trying to help you guys see you have good vocabulary, and sometimes you can use a word that's just a little bit higher level. So we have our two examples. We have our commentary. The last thing we need is an analysis statement. And as you're finishing what's here, I want you to turn to the back side on the right of the board there. I have two sentence starters. You guys tell me what you want us to use. So for our last sentence, do we want to say by the end of the poem, the speaker realizes? Or do we want to say in the final analysis, Taylor reveals? And in both of those, we can put some whatever the life lesson is. Which one do you want to use?
The reveal, yeah, the reveal.
The reveals, okay.
The transition is like, oh, she was sad that she realizes even if she was going through something.
Okay. So we have two saying the second one. Anybody else have a three? Anybody else have an opinion? Otherwise, we're going for that. Jordan Osbrook's site. Write it, just write it, Miss Vickers. Just. And the final analysis, that clues your score that you're getting to the end. Taylor reveals what do we want to say her lesson is? Go back and look at your title in your TP cast and the second half of the sentence. There you go. There you go. In the final analysis, Taylor reveals the wealthy should learn from this scene and share what they have with those less fortunate. So I'm going to go through really quickly as I've done in the past. I'm going to highlight some things. Here's my topic sentence. And I'm going to put with it, whoops, my analysis statement. And then I have my elaboration sentence. And then I have detail 1.
Use purple.
What? That's different enough, okay. And detail too. Who needs highlighters? Yes, ma'am. Like if you have one or two, if you can pull those out, because I'm not going to have enough for everybody. So you need one color for your topic sentence and for your analysis statement. You need one for your elaboration, and then one for your two. You don't have to need all. Do you understand that?
No, I looked it up.
You have some, Peter? Do you have any highlighters with you? You have any highlighters with you? If it doesn't, okay. Down to one. So at least do your topic sentence and we'll kind of. Miss Harden, do you have one of your wipes that are you using? Some people are going to have to share. So, all right, ready on to yellow. Okay. I need you to highlight what I highlighted in yellow. Okay. Let me just do a different color. Are you doing the color yours? Pink and orange. Just the two examples should be the other. You also needed like you needed one more color? Do you have three colors in there? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just making sure you got everything. That's what you're gonna do. So what's kind of that red is gonna be pink. Taylor, we will get you caught up. So you have in your composition notebook, yeah. Yes. So you may use this. You're welcome. I think it's interesting. And they focus on that. Do they? Yeah. Right, awesome. Okay, if you'll just leave that there, you leave this, you leave that here. Miss Harden, they have worked so hard today. I agree. Yes. Okay, so for those of you at home, you need to also put this in your composition notebook and highlight these different colors to go with your Teta format so you have it as an example.